But that's another story.
Not this story. This story is about a couple of Norwegians who, back in the late 1800s, decided they would become rich and famous by their skill at rowing. They would put their abilities to good use.
When we're indoors, I ask people to stop breathing because it's upsetting the hurdy-gurdy, but I can't do that here.
You can try. So this has a chorus. We'll see you in France or we'll see you in heaven. Tried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen after adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way.
Yep, go.
In Brooklyn, New York, at the turn of the century, lived two young Norwegians so brave and so bold. Frank Samuelson, only halfway through his 20s, George Harbo had just become 30 years old.
Now Harbo had spent all his life on the water. He shipped in square riggers when only a lad. His partner likewise is no stranger to working, no matter the task, he gave all that he had.
That year a rich publisher offered a challenge that men in a vessel, no matter the size, couldn't cross the Atlantic without steam or canvas. $10,000 he named as the prize. Now dredging up oysters by hand is no picnic, and these two Norwegians were off as a vim. Says Frank, if we row only 4 miles an hour, in 54 days we could finish the trip. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen after adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way.
Obtaining a sponsor, they started their training. They ordered a dory of cedar and oak, just 18 feet long and a draft of 8 inches. The Fox was the name of their cockle shell boat.
On the 6th day of June, 1896, Messrs. Harbo and Samuelson started to row. They took food and water to last until August, and the newspapers said they were stupid to go. We'll see you in France, we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen after adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. From the slips of Manhattan, they rode through the Narrows, out onto the Gulf Stream and over the Deep. Each day they would row 18 hours together. At night they took turns getting 3 hours sleep.
Their stove would not light, so they ate cold provisions. Their arms and their legs became swollen and cramped. The odd passing vessel that took them on board was their only relief from the cold and the damp.
Then out on the Grand Banks the weather attacked them. The wind humped the water into mountainous waves. They lashed down their oars and tied on their lifelines, afraid they were not going straight to their graves. We'll see you in France, or we'll see you in heaven. Cried Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen after adventure, and no one believed they could row all the way. And out of the dark came a monstrous wave, capsizing the Fox and her terrified crew. Their lifelines held fast, but they lost half their water, and I would have lost all of my water too.
They carefully rationed the little remaining 3 and 4
easy, but he gave them supplies and they went on their way. By the lines on the chart, they were halfway to Europe, but now they must row 60 miles every day. We'll see you in France,
We'll see you in heaven.
Pint, Harbo, and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen
After adventure,
and no one
believed they could row all the way.
Well, the weather held fair, and the two men kept pulling, all pulling long day and far into night. When early one morning, just as the sun rose, far out on the horizon, they spotted a light.
On August the 1st, they land off St. Mary's on the south coast of England, just by the ship's rock. In amazement, the townsfolk gathered down by the water, where Harbo and Samuelson barely could walk.
Most men would have stopped there to bask in the glory, after having been sunbeaten, capsized and starved. But they were both back in their boat the next morning, and in less than a week, they arrived at the Havre. We'll see you in France,
We'll see you in heaven.
Pint, Harbo, and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young
Oystermen out for adventure,
and no
no
one
one believed they could row all the way.
So those of you listening who yearn for adventure, like Harbo and Samuelson so long ago, like them, be prepared for the task you are facing. They were not only brave, but by God they could row. We'll see you in France,
We'll see you in heaven.
Pint,
Harbo and Samuelson out on the bay.
Two hardy young
Oystermen out for adventure,
and
no one believed they could row all the way.
We'll see you in France,
We'll see you in heaven. Pint, Harbo, and Samuelson out on the bay. Two hardy young oystermen out for adventure, and no one believed they could row